I'm going to compare your swing to Grant Waite, who was a tour player during the 90s. He and teaching partner Joe Mayo are now instructors of several PGA Tour players. Grant was considered by many of having one of the best swings in golf. I'm going to begin at impact, which is the most important position. Everything the golf ball does, how far it goes, how high it goes, how much it spins and curves, is a direct response to the laws of physics and motion that exist at the moment of impact. The physics and geometry at impact is a response to the club's position at impact. The club's position is a direct response to the body's position at impact. And it's important to understand that impact occurs in only 4 microseconds, which is 1,000 times faster than a blink of an eye. And it is impossible for any human to consciously influence ball flight during this fraction of a second. Therefore, every position prior to impact must be shaped and sequenced in such a way to consistently arrive at a fundamentally sound impact position. The purpose of any swing is to hit the golf ball with a desired ball flight. This can only be done by hitting the ground in the same place, and that place is in front of the golf ball. To achieve this, Grant and all the pros have their hands in front of the golf ball when they make contact. By having their hands in front of the ball, they create a shaft lean. That allows them to hit down into the golf ball and hitting the ball before they hit the ground. This maximizes the transfer of the club speed to the ball so that it maximizes the amount of ball speed coming off the face of the club. The pros also have the majority of their weight on their left side at the moment of impact. As you can see, the red line coming off of Grant's left foot passes right through his belt buckle. Rick, as we look at your impact position, first I want to point out that I've drawn a red line where the golf ball is. And when we look at Grant's impact position, you can see that his hands are already in front of the golf ball before he hits the ball. The blue line is the shaft of his club. As I frame advance his swing, he still hasn't hit the ball, and his hands have moved even further forward. And then right there, he's at impact. And so his hands are quite a bit in front of the golf ball at impact. As we look at your swing right now, your hands are behind the golf ball. In the very next frame, you've hit the ball. Here's your shaft, but your hands are still right on top of where the ball was. So your hands were clearly not in front of the ball at the moment of impact. This would be something that would need to be added to your technique, ball striking technique, in order to compress the ball, hit the ball a little further, make sure you hit the ball before you hit the ground, to minimize the number of times that you hit the ball fat, which is hitting behind the ball, or hit it thin where you don't hit the ground at all. So geometrically, you need a better position at impact in order to consistently strike the ball solid. One of the things you need to do in order to help you get the hands in front of the ball is to also get your weight more forward on that left side at impact. I've drawn a box from the base of both ankles all the way up to the top of your head. And you can see how Grant is, his head in the center of his body is on top of his left foot. And your head and center of your body, if we were to point out your sternum here, it's back here, and Grant's is up here closer to his front foot. And so by having your weight more forward at impact, it's easier to have your hands more forward. You're kind of falling backwards. You have actually more weight on your back foot at impact than your front foot. This is called a reverse weight shift. There are some specific drill activities that you need to do in order to learn how to make this lower body movement to the left side. How to start your swing with your weight on your left side, how to keep your swing on your left side, and how to move to your left side. so that you have what I call a single axis golf swing. Also, you can see how your left arm has a little bit of a bend. Your elbows are starting to separate a little bit, where Grant's arms are extended at impact. As Grant continues forward in his swing, he keeps his arms extended. His elbows are close together. His elbows are on top in front of his chest as he swings his chest and arms. So even in this post position, both arms are fully extended. Here he is in the ninth position with the right arm is parallel, and he's fully extended with both arms, elbows close together. As I frame advance your swing, you can see how your elbows are separating. That left arm has bent even more. You can notice that your white glove and left of your left hand is on top of the right hand, where Grant's left hand is underneath his right hand. His wrists are crossed because he was able to keep his left arm extended and his elbows close together. Now, the main reason that he is able to achieve this position and form is because he has come off this back foot. He has turned his hips to the target. His chest, his belt buckle, everything is facing the target. His right pocket is right on top of his foot when he's in the ninth position. So by turning his lower body and shifting towards the target, he's able to keep both arms extended. When you keep your weight on your back foot through impact, it will cause the elbows to separate. And so you have a great hand-eye coordination with your hands. As you hit the ball, you're able to achieve a lot of success. But it's basically a hand and arm and upper body golf swing with zero lower body activity. Once you build a better structure, foundation with your lower body and learn how to move the lower body athletically through the shot, then you'll be able to be more consistent. Now let's look at the positions prior to impact to see how they influence your impact position. Your arms are very extended here in the one position. That looks really good. Grant's hands are in front of the ball during the setup. Your hands are a little bit behind the ball during the setup. One of the things that Grant does at the setup that helps him keep his hands or position his hands in front of the ball is that he starts with more weight on his left side than his right side. So he's in kind of a little mini impact position even at the beginning of the swing. And you're sitting back in your back foot, which makes it basically very difficult, or if not impossible, to get your hands in front of the ball at the start of the swing. So presetting your weight on your left side will be something that you need to adjust and change a little bit. Also, Grant flares this left foot a little bit. That helps him prepare for a shift to the left side. So one of the things I would recommend is for you to just a little bit, maybe it doesn't have to be the same extreme of Grant, but turn that left foot out a little bit. I would also widen your stance slightly. I'm now going to take Grant to the 3 position of the backswing. This is when the left arm is parallel to the ground. You can see how he took his club back, has a nice extension in his left arm, but he also maintained his weight on his left side. His left knee is still right on top of his foot. His back, his hip, his head, everything is still loaded up on the left side. He's kind of pressing the ground, pressing down into the ground with his left side, almost like a field goal kicker getting ready to plant that foot and kick that ball. Grant has a single axis golf swing, and that axis is his left side. He's going to swing around his circle without ever moving the circle. Now as we look at your setup, and then take you to the 3 position. you actually move more to the right. You start on your right foot and you move even further to the right. And so you have all your weight on your back foot, which is going to add a complexity to your golf swing. You not only are trying to swing around your circle, but you have moved your circle well to the right. So now you have to coordinate and figure out how to move that circle back up to the left side, back up to the golf ball, while at the same time swing around your circle effectively. Where Grant is a much simpler swing. He simply stabilizes his golf circle and swings around it. Never has to worry about relocating or moving correctly the circle itself. The purpose of this swing report is not to identify all of your missing fundamentals, but to identify one or two fundamentals that you're missing that you need to work on first. And the first thing that you need to establish is how to set up a very good one position and how to move from 1 to 3, how to move to this 3 position where the left arm is parallel to the ground and maintain a stable and fundamentally sound position. So starting with your weight on your left side and keeping it there during the backswing is the first piece that you need to work on. Rick, we worked on this stabilization of your circle toward the end of our session with the driver. On the left was your driver swing before we began working on stabilizing your swing axis. And on the right was after you had worked on that. One, we set you up a little differently. I'll widen your stance slightly. You can see how you are on the left kind of sitting back into your back leg, and on the right you are a little bit more centered. You have your weight a little bit more balanced. Now with the iron you want to be preset a little bit maybe to the left because the low point of the swing needs to be in front of the ball. But when the ball is on a tee and you're hitting a driver, you actually want to be swinging up into it. Therefore the low point would be behind the golf ball with the driver. I'm going to now move your swing on the left, frame advance, and notice how you sway even further to the right. You're really on that back leg, so you've really shifted your golf circle way to the back foot, and so you've added a complexity of having to not only swing around your circle but also control the position of the circle so it gets back in the correct position at impact. On the swing on the right, you just lock down that circle. You don't have to worry about tying in the movement back to the ball. You just are coiling around that circle. This is a dramatic difference and much more powerful. You can see how your left knee is right on top of that ball of your left foot, whereas on your previous swing you had shifted. Your hips are outside the box. Your knees have gone. You're in a much more stable position. You're really incorporating a good coil and using circular momentum to create power. You're going to be much more consistent at delivering the club to the ball very consistently. That is outstanding work on your part to be introduced to this movement and to make this change this quickly. It's important that you maintain this new change, and because that is the key foundation piece you need. You need to develop that kind of foundation structure for all your swings.